Hey guys, I'm Dale of the Biblical Linguist. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Today I'm very excited because we are starting Matthew chapter 2. I'm going to start trying to do these in larger chunks to get through this quicker, because if I keep doing it at the pace I've been, it's going to take me an eternity to get through this. I'd prefer to sort of start streamlining this content. And as always, I write out all of my Greek. I do my homework before starting the lesson. That way it's fresh in my mind, and I go through the paces of what it would have been like to be one of the early scribes, trying to write this stuff out by hand, because that is how the original Gospels were spread, by handwritten manuscripts. Verse 1. Tu the Iesu genethentos in Bethlehem tis Judeas, en Himeres rodu tu Basileos, idou, magoi apo Anatolon paragenonto is Hierosoluma. All right, so tu means the means and, Iesu, Jesus, genethentos, from the root genao. Genao means born or begat. So in this case, I'm going to translate it as born. In Bethlehem, tis Judeas, in Judea, in Himeres rodu, in the days of Herod. Now this is a cool word, himera, because himera means day, and in modern Greek, to say good day to somebody or good morning, you'd say kalimera. So it's a modern word as well, himera. All over the place in Greek, they say it a lot. It occurs 389 times in the New Testament, and it's a very important word to commit to memory. Simera means today. Okay, Herodu, Herod. To Basileos, the king. Basileos, very important word, means king, occurs 115 times. If you think about the English word vassal, state, this is where we get the word vassal from. So Basileos, Vasileos, it's also pronounced that way. Idou, behold. Magoi apo Anatolon. So magoi comes from the root magos, means a wise man, but it could also mean a magician or an astrologer. In this context, it means wise men. Apo, from Anatolon, the east. Think about Anatolia. That's where we get the word for the city Anatolia from, east. Paragenonto, they came, comes from paraginome. Now, ginome means to come or to occur. Ginome means it has a broad range of meanings, but paragenonto means they came, means they came together. Para, like together, it happened. To come, to make an appearance, and to be by the side of somebody. So they came at each other's sides to this place, I guess is how you could conceptualize it. Is Hierosoluma, to Jerusalem. All right, so how would I translate this? Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea in the days of Herod the king. Behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem. Verse 2. Legontes, pu estin ho tekthis basileos ton Judaion, idomen gar afto ton astera en ti Anatole, ke ilthomen genese afto. All right. A lot of cool words in here. Legontes means saying. Now, they say that the root here is ipen, which means to say, but as I covered in the last video, they'll use two different verbs, one in the present, one in the past tense. They're actually two separate verbs. Legontes would come from the root of logos. Logos means word. And so legontes means they're wording, if you will. It doesn't actually stem from ipen. Ipen has a completely different consonant structure, right? Ipen, they're using legontes for, okay, yeah, it comes from lego, which is also where logos comes from. Lego means to say, it could mean to speak, to narrate, to declare, to express. So yeah, lego is not ipen, but they both mean say. Pu, where, also the modern word for where. Pu estin ho tekthis, where is the child? So tekthis comes from tikto, the root I covered extensively in the last video. Tikto is the root meaning, yeah, tekthis comes from the root tikto. Tikto means to bear, bring forth children, produce. Tekthis here means the one who was born. Basileos ton Judaion, the king of the Jews. Idomen comes from Idon, which means to see. Gar aftu ton astera, we saw his star, enti Anatole, in the east. Ke ilthomen, which means to come. Proskinese afto, proskinese, it comes from the root proskineo. Very, very important verb here. Proskuneo means to pay homage to display reverence, to prostrate towards, to worship. Afto. So, how would I translate this? Basically, they came saying, where is the newly born king, or the just recently born king of the Jews? For we saw his star in the east and have come to worship him. That's how I would translate that. All right, next. Verse 3. Acusas de Herodes ho basileos etarachthei, que passa Jerusalema met aftu. Acusas, so this comes from the root akuo. Acusas means heard. Think of our word acoustic, it's where we get our word acoustic. Acusas de ho basileos, when the king, basileos, king, Herodes, heard this, etarachthei. Now, etarachthei comes from the word tarasso, the verb tarasso. Tarasso means to agitate, to trouble. It can mean to trouble the mind with fear, to terrify with grief. So it's not a very common word, but it's good to recognize it. Etarachthei que passa, and all Jerusalem, Jerusalem, met aftu, with him. So to translate this, then King Herod heard this, and he was troubled, and all of Jerusalem was troubled with him when they heard of this news. 4. Que synagogon pantas tus archieres que grammatis tu leo epin thaneto par afton pu ho Christus genete. Que and synagogon. Now I love this verb. It comes from the root synago. Synagogon means to gather together. Synagogon, they gathered together. This is where we get the word synagogue from, like the Jewish temples of worship, the synagogues, the gathering place. So easy one to remember if you have it in that context. Synago, it occurs 59 times. I see it a lot in this context. So it means to bring together, to collect, to gather. It could also mean to gather like grain or fruits, but most often times I see it's gathering as an assembly. Pantas tus archieres, all of the archieres. When I hear this, I think of the word arche, which means in the beginning, or archaic, where we get the word archaic from. Archieres, I think of all the elderly or all of the elders gathered, but it's technically transcribed as the ruling priest, que grammatis, as well as the scribes. Grammateus is a scribe, a clerk, a town clerk, a registrar, but somebody that literally writes. Grapho means to write in Greek. So grammatis are the people that write. To lao, the people, lao, leon from the last video. Epinthanato from the root pinthanome. It means to ask, to inquire, to investigate. Now this one I don't see it appearing very much. It says it only occurs 12 times. Par, avton, of them, inquired of them. Pu ho Christos genete, where was the Messiah born? Christos. And so to translate this, and all of the ruling priests and scribes and people gathered together, asking of them, where was the Messiah born? Hoi the ipon afto in Bethlehem, tis Judeas, huto gar gegrapte dia tu prophetu. All right. Hoi means they, just a filler word in my opinion. Ipan, from ipen, to say or to tell. They told afto him in Bethlehem, in Bethlehem, tis Judeas, in Judea. Hutos gar gegrapte, thus, hutos, it also means this way, in this way, hutos, gar, for gegrapte, it was written, dia tu prophetu, by the prophets. So I would translate this as, they then told him in Bethlehem of Judea, as it was written by the prophets. Kesu Bethlehem ri Juda, udamos elachiste I entois hegemosin Juda, exugar exelevsete hegomenos hostis poimane ton leon mu ton Israel. Okay. K and su, you, Bethlehem, Re, Re can mean earth. It also means land. Think of geography, geographical. That's where we get this word from. Re Juda, Judah. Udamos, it only occurs once. It means by no means. So this is a new one for me. Elachiste, from the root elachistos. Okay, so it's the superlative of mikros, the smallest. Elachistos means the least. E, R, in or among. tois hegemosin. Now this is an interesting word, hegemosin, from the root hegemon. Our word, hegemony, right? It's like a rulership or a dictatorship. So hegemosin here means rulers, Judah. Ek from su, you, gar for exelevsete. This is actually comes from exerchome. Erchome means to come. Exerchome means to come out of. So this sounds like a scary word, exelevsete, but it just means to come out of. Exerchome occurs 218 times. Erchome has many, many different iterations. They swap out the prefixes in front of erchome, and it could mean all kinds of things. But once you identify erchome, then you know it means to come. And then using the prefix, you can kind of understand what the prefix is describing. The coming is. Is it coming in? Is it coming out? Is it coming to? Is it on top of? From underneath? Together? You get the idea. Hegomenos. Here's this same word again from like hegemony. This word, hegomenos, comes from hegeome. And hegeome means to lead the way. It's a verb. Hegumenos, so they're coming. Hostis means whoever or whatever. Very important word, occurs 144 times. Poimani, from the root poimano, which means shepherd. Poimane ton leon. Yeah, shepherd occurs only 11 times, but poimane, ton leon, the people, mu, my people, ton Israel, of Israel. So how do I translate this? And you, Bethlehem, so it's like the king addressing Bethlehem. Ye Judah, the land of Judah. Elachiste, this is kind of difficult to put together. Udamos, which means by no means. By no means, elachiste, the least of. Udamos, elachiste, the least of. I en tois hegemosin. So by no means are you the least among the rulers of Judah. Let's go through that again. We might need to reshape these words to make sense of it in English. Udamos, by no means. Elachiste, the least of. I means are. En, among. Tois means the, plural. Hegemosin, Judah. By no means are you the least of the rulers of Judah. Exugar exelevsete. Exugar. Okay, so ek from su, you, gar for among you. Exelevsete will come. This is a future tense. Exelevsete of exerchome. Exelevsete hegomenos. So from among you will come a ruler. Hostis, who poimane ton leon, will be a shepherd of the people. Leon mu, my people, will be a shepherd of my people. Ton Israel, Israel. And you, Bethlehem, land of Judah, who are by no means the least of the rulers of Judah, for from among you will come a ruler who will be a shepherd of the people of Israel, the shepherd of my people of Israel. It's kind of a hard one. That's definitely a hard one. Don't be discouraged by that. It's definitely hard. It's very difficult for me too. Tota Herodis Lathra, Kalesas tus magos, ekrivose gar afton ton chronon tu phenomeno asteros. Okay, so this is cool. This has a lot of cool words, and it's not so complicated. Tota means then, Herodis, Herod. Lathra, we had this word earlier. Lathra, to refer to Joseph. He was going to release Mary quietly because he was a man of honor. He was going to release her Lathra, to uphold her dignity and his. He was just going to quietly let her go. Lathra. Lathra means secretly. It only occurs 4 times, but it's a good one to know. Kalesas, from the root kaleo, means to call. Very intuitive. Tus magos, akrivusen, the wise men, akrivusen, from the root akrivo. Now this is not a word I'm familiar with, but it means found. Ekrivusen, they found. I'm more familiar with the word vrisko, which means to find. Par afton ton chronon, from them, the time, to phenomenu, from the root phaino, means to appear, to bring to light. This is where we get the word phenomenon from, by the way. Phenomenu, phaino, to make things visible, to make things obvious to the senses. Phenomenu, asteros. I love this word. It comes from aster, star. Okay, so tota Herodis, so then Herod, Lathra, secretly, Kalesas, called, tus magos, the wise men, ekrivusen, par afton ton chronon tu phenomeno asteros. So how would I translate this? Then Herod secretly called the magi, the wise men. Basically, it's not so clearly put together. Par afton, ekrivusen par afton. So they found from them. So he wants to know from them what they found. It's very awkwardly ordered here. They found from them the time, chronon, from chronos, chronon, chronometer on your watch, time, chronon, chronos, time in Greek, to phenomeno asteros. He wanted to know, find out from them what time the star appeared to them. Again, Greek is awkwardly ordered, but that's what's going on here. Now, I'm excited about this word. Ke pempses. This is the first time we're seeing the Poseidon letter. Ke pempses. Aftus is Bethlehem ipe porevthentes. Akrivus exetasete peritu paidio epande evrete epangelate moi hopus kago elthon proskinesu afto. Ke and pempses from pempto, which means to send. It occurs 79 times. Pempses. This is an important one to know. Okay, pempses, they sent, aftos, them, is Bethlehem, to Bethlehem, ipen, saying, porevthentes, from porevome. It means go. Porevome means to pass from one place to another. Porevome hopisu means to go after somebody. So porevthentes, exetasete, from exetazo, means to search or to inquire. It only occurs 3 times. It's kind of rare. Exetazo. Exetasete. Akrivos. So this means accurately or diligently. Akrivos. It only occurs 9 times. Peri, for, to, the. Paidio, from paidion. Paidion means baby or child, infant. Epan, when, the, and evrete, from evrisko. This is the root I'm familiar with for finding. When you find him, epangelate, from epangelu. Epangelu occurs 45 times. That means to announce. Epangelu. Now, what's funny about Greek is when they put the 2 G's next to each other, it instead of making a hard G sound, it makes a NG sound. So epangelu. Same thing that we see with angelos. Angelos is spelled with a double G, so you pronounce it angelos. Epangelate, from epangelo, means announce. Moi, me. Hopus, which basically means so that. Kago, so that I can. Kago. Elthon, from erchome, I can come. Proskineso, from proskineo, which means to worship. Afto, him. So how do I translate this? Kai pempses, from pemptu. So pempses, he sent them, aftos, to Bethlehem, saying, go and search diligently for the child. And when he is found, inform me so that I can go and worship him. All right, number 9. Hoi the accusantes tu basileus eporevthesan ke idu ho aster on idon en ti Anatole proegen aftos ius elthon este apano hu ento pedion. Hoi, they, here. Hoi normally means the, but it's, in this case, it's plural, so in this case it means they. They listened, accusantes, they listened to Basileus, to the king, eporevthesan. This is from porevome, which means to pass from one place to another. Eporevthesan, so past tense. Ke idu ho aster, and behold, the star, hon idon, that they had seen, and ti Anatole, in the east, proegen, from proago. Proago means to lead, bring forth, to go before. They proceeded forth, aftos, to them, heus, elthon, from erchame. They came, estathe, from istemi, hestathe, means it occurs 154 times, means to stop. Apano means basically above or upon. Who in topedion, where the child was. So how did I translate this? So they had listened to the king, and they continued on with their journey. Eporevthesan, and behold, the star that they saw in the east. They went until they came and they stopped where the child was. That's how I would translate that. Okay, last one. I hope this video doesn't end up being too long. I hope I'm not losing people. This last one's real short. Idontes de ton astera echaresan charan megalin fodra. Okay, I like the way this one ends. Idontes de ton astera echaresan charan megalin sfodra. Okay, idontes, from idon. So, idontes, from idon. Idontes de ton astera, they saw the star, echaresan, from the root chairo, which means, it comes from haru, which means to rejoice, to be glad, to be joyful. Echaresan, they rejoiced, they were celebrating. Echaresan charan megalin. Charan again from chara, joy, gladness. So they rejoiced with joy. Echaresan charan. They both come from the same root of chara, which means joy, gladness, rejoicing. Megalin from megas. Megalin means great. And sfodra means exceedingly or a lot, great. So I would translate this as they saw the star and they rejoiced with great and exceeding happiness. That's how I would end that one. Yes. So a little bit longer of a video, but I kind of wanted to bust out some more chunks. It's funny, sometimes you feel like you're making a lot of progress and then you start to hit a lot of roadblocks with the Greek. The Greek is so cool. And the more I familiarize myself with it, the more I'm just in love with it, frankly. This is such a fun project for me. So anybody watching, thank you for tuning along. I hope you're learning something. I hope my pronunciation is not too terrible. And anyways, stay tuned. We got a lot of more ground to cover on this channel. As always, I'm Dale of the Biblical Linguist. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see y'all in my next video.